Hello, everyone. I'm Ted, and this is Tedinho. Welcome back to another chilling story of mystery and the unexplained. Today, we're traveling back to 1959, deep into the freezing mountains of Russia. 9 experienced hikers set out on a journey, but none of them ever made it back. Their tents were ripped open from the inside. Their bodies were found scattered barefoot, some half-dressed, some with broken skulls, others glowing with radiation. What happened on that mountain remains one of the most haunting mysteries in human history. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Imagine standing in total darkness, surrounded by snow and silence. The temperature is minus 30 degrees Celsius. Your tent suddenly shakes and something or someone forces you to run out into the freezing night with no shoes, no coat, no chance of survival. Whatever happened that night in the Ural Mountains terrified 9 hikers so deeply. They tore through their own tent and ran into their deaths. The snow falls quietly over the Ural Mountains. It is February 1959, and 9 young Russian hikers are fighting against exhaustion, cold, and something no one could ever explain. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group was made of students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were experienced, disciplined, and determined to reach Mount Otort, a name that in the native Mansi language means do not go there. But they did. That decision would make them legends and victims of one of the most haunting mysteries of the 20th century. On February 1st, the group set up camp on a slope of Koletsyakol, the mountain of the dead. The wind howled, snow fell endlessly, and temperatures dropped below minus 30 degrees. Yet Igor decided to camp there in the open. He wanted to challenge himself and his team. That night, they laughed, cooked dinner, took photos, and then the mountain swallowed them in silence. When the hikers did not return, families raised alarm. Rescue teams searched for weeks in the frozen wilderness. On February 26th, rescuers found something strange. A tent slashed open from inside. All their belongings remained neatly arranged. Boots, clothes, food. But the hikers were gone. Barefoot footprints led down toward the forest. Barefoot, in minus 30 degrees. 2 bodies were found first, lying beside a small fire under a tall cedar tree. They were almost naked, with burns on their hands. Branches above them were broken several meters high, as if someone had climbed desperately trying to escape something. 3 more bodies, including Igor Dyatlov himself, were discovered between the forest and the tent, frozen mid-step, as if trying to crawl back home. Then, months later, when the snow melted, the last 4 were found in a ravine. Some had broken ribs, crushed skulls. One woman, Ludmila Dubinina, was missing her eyes and tongue. No one could understand what had happened. The investigators searched for answers. There were no enemy tracks, no signs of struggle, no animal footprints, only confusion. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Some of their clothes were radioactive, and the final report, written in a single chilling line, said, "The hikers died due to a compelling unknown force." A force unknown. Over the decades, hundreds of theories have tried to explain it. Some say an avalanche struck while they slept, but the slope was too gentle and the camp untouched. Others believe secret Soviet weapons were being tested, chemical gas, mines, even infrasound that drives people insane. At the height of the Cold War, such experiments were real. And then there were the lights. Villagers and soldiers reported glowing orbs in the sky around the same dates, floating silent, moving unnaturally over the mountains. Photographs recovered from the hikers' cameras showed bright dots and streaks of orange light above the snow. Coincidence? Or something else? Some believe those lights were UFOs. Others think they were secret rockets. Whatever they were, they watched over Dyatlov's team the night they died. Among their recovered belongings were journals. The entries were cheerful, songs, laughter, optimism, until the final page. It read simply, "It seems we are no longer afraid of anything." After that, silence. The last photos taken show terrified faces, half lit by a red glow. Something had found them in the dark. The investigation was quietly shut down. Files were sealed. Families were told not to ask questions. For decades, the case remained classified under Soviet secrecy. In time, rumors spread: spies, mutants, aliens, government cover-ups. But nothing fit. Not the wounds. Not the radiation. Not the missing eyes and tongue. Science could not explain it. Logic refused to. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case. Their final explanation: avalanche. But even the officials admitted it did not make sense. No broken trees, no debris, no trail consistent with an avalanche. And yet, 9 lives ended in panic, half-dressed, half-buried in snow. How do you explain fear so great it tears a tent from the inside out? Modern explorers who visit the site say strange things happen there. Electronics fail. Drones lose signal. Voices echo when the wind shifts. Some claim they feel watched. Others swear they hear screams under the snow. The Dyatlov Pass is now a memorial route. Tourists walk where those 9 fell. But at night, the air changes, thick, electric, almost alive, as if the mountain still remembers. Perhaps they ran from a storm, perhaps from each other, or perhaps from something else entirely. No one will ever truly know. Today, the Dyatlov Pass stands silent, a grave carved into ice, guarding secrets no human should ever uncover. 9 names, 9 faces, and one haunting question echoing through time. What really happened on that mountain? And that, my friends, is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, a mystery that defied reason, the military, and even nature itself. 9 young explorers walked into the unknown and became legend. If you've listened this far, remember, sometimes the real horror isn't what we imagine, but what remains unexplained. I'm Ted, and this was another episode of Ted and Tedinho. If you love true mysteries, forgotten events, and stories the world tried to hide, follow our podcast, because next time, what you'll hear might change what you believe is possible. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries that the world forgot, if you crave stories that chill your spine and challenge everything you thought you knew, then don't wait. Subscribe to Ted and Tedinho right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of The Unexplained. Share this story with friends, because the truth grows stronger when more people ask the questions no one dares to answer. Remember, the world is full of secrets, and some of them are closer than you think. Join us, explore the unknown, and keep asking, because only curiosity uncovers the shadows.